Chapter 7 of the Trolley Car Family, A Home in the Wilderness. Chapter 7. When Sally and Bill got back to the trolley car, they found the family up. Pa was feeding the fire with some wood that George had just brought. Ma was frying bacon and eggs, and Mr. Jefferson was sitting on the steps of the car with Peter on his lap. Peter had just grabbed Mr. Jefferson's straw hat and was putting it on his own head, which it covered like a bushel basket. Mr. Jefferson was looking a little scared, as if this was the first time a small boy had ever sat on his lap. "Well, where have you been?" Ma exclaimed, looking up from her cooking. "Aren't you hungry? The idea of gallivanting off at this time of the morning without saying a word." "You were asleep, Mama," said Sally. "We didn't want to awaken you. We just went across the road to get a good look at the farmhouse. And we saw the boy and girl that live there and their aunt. And look what they gave us," Bill burst out. Ma stood up and looked. "Well, I declare," she exclaimed. "Milk! Oh, that's wonderful. We actually have neighbors way out here in the wilderness. And what smart children you are. But I hope you thanked the lady politely." Pa interrupted. "Of course we have neighbors, Ma. This isn't a wilderness. It's only 5 miles away from the town of Taylorville." "Well, it feels like a wilderness to me," said Ma. "But what's this?" Sally held out the pie to her. "They give us this, too. They thought you might like it." Her mother lifted the napkin and stared at the pie. "Well, that settles it," she exclaimed. "Now I know we're in civilized country. I was beginning to feel like a gypsy cooking over an open fire, but if there's folks here that can bake pies and put a C on them, and I guess that means cherry, then it's all right. And as soon as I can get my stove set up, I'm going to make a nice cake and send it over. Sally, I hope you ask the lady to come and visit us." "Yes, ma'am." "I hope," Pa interrupted, "she'll come soon so you can see that we aren't among the heathen." But Mama ignored his remark. "Now come and have breakfast, everybody," she said. "We've got to fix this place up, and if we're going to live in it and have visitors, Sally and Bill, come sit down." "We had breakfast," said Sally. "You had? Heavens," said Ma. "How many times have I told you children not to go into anyone's house when they're eating?" "But Mama," Bill protested, "Tom told us to come and get some milk, and we thought you'd want some for Peter, and there was his Aunt Hannah making pancakes. We couldn't just walk out." George said under his breath, "You could have grabbed a couple of pancakes for me." But fortunately Mama didn't hear him. The family sat in a semicircle, and Ma went from one to the other, dishing out bacon and eggs. "How'd you sleep last night, Mr. Jefferson?" Pa inquired. "Fine, fine," said Mr. Jefferson. He had a piece of bread in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. There's Mr. Jefferson looking mighty happy. Piece of bread in one hand and a cup of coffee in the other. His straw hat was on the back of his head, and he sat cross-legged on the ground. Suddenly his face wrinkled up just as it had a few days ago when he was looking at the Parker family across the fence. His mouth stretched and the corners turned up, and he grinned. Then he made a curious sound. "Ha!" he said. It was a laugh. It sounded a bit rusty, but it certainly was a laugh. The Parkers all turned and stared at him. "I was just thinking," said Mr. Jefferson, "how surprised I would have been a week ago if I could have seen myself now." "No more than any of us," George said. "Georgie," his mother said, "I don't know what to do with that boy. He'll sit quiet as a mouse, and then when he does speak, he'll say the wrong thing. Don't listen to him, Mr. Jefferson." "No, that's all right," said Mr. Jefferson. "He didn't mean any harm." "Whether he did or not," said Ma, "he's got to learn to look before he leaps. Now look at the way he fell into the water last night." Oh, said Bill, "that reminds me. That boy Tom said it's a spring, and his aunt said so too. So if it's a spring water, we can drink it, can't we?" "A spring," said Pa. "Well, now, if everybody's finished," and he stood up and wiped his mustache, "I want to have a look at that water, or spring, or whatever it is, and we'll have to look at the barn, too. The boys can go with me." "Sally, you stay here," said her mother. "I need you to help me." "Maybe I can do something around the house, too," said Mr. Jefferson. "I'm used to housekeeping." "Well, there's plenty to do," said Ma, "but what shall we do with Peter while we work? Sally will have to mind him." "Oh, Ma, I want to help, too," Sally complained. "No, he'll run into the road," said Ma. Mr. Jefferson's eye fell on the hens pecking about under the wheel. "Tie him to a wheel," he suggested. "That's a good idea," said Ma. "Sally, go get the clothesline. It's packed in the wash basket with the clothespins." Peter didn't mind a bit being tied up like the chickens. He got down under the car and called to them, "Here, chicken, here, nice chicken, chicken, chicken." The chickens, however, squawked and flapped their wings and got as far away from him as their strings would allow. Sally got a piece of bread and gave it to Peter. "Give the chicken some bread," she told him. She threw down a crumb to show him how, and the black hen snapped it up. Then Peter threw down a crumb, and the speckled hen got it. Then he decided to eat the rest himself. Ma gave him a pan and a spoon to dig with, and he sat in the shade, digging and talking happily to the chickens. Ma and Sally and Mr. Jefferson then surveyed the car. "Now," said Ma, "the way I see it, we'll have the kitchen on the back platform. Let's set up the stove first of all, right across from the doorway. Then if we don't get another thing done, at least I can cook some food without squatting over a campfire." After the stove was set up and the tank filled with kerosene, Ma looked at the motorman's box. There was no way to get rid of it. "Let's use it for a kitchen table," said Sally. "Oh, that's a good idea," her mother said, "only it's not big enough." "Haven't we got some lumber?" Mr. Jefferson asked. "We could build a shelf on top of the box right across the width of the car. Then you'll have all the working surface you'll need." "And you can sit on the motorman's stool," Sally cried. She ran to the front end of the car and pulled up the stool on which Pa had sat for so many years. "Won't Pa be surprised?" she said as she fitted the iron pipe into the hole on the floor. Mr. Jefferson sawed off 2 lengths of board for his shelf and nailed them in place, while Ma hammered in nails up and down the window frames to hang her pots and pans. Then Sally arranged her mother's bright blue and yellow canisters along the back of the shelf. The boxes of groceries were stowed underneath, as well as the dishpans and water bucket. "We can set up our table outdoors for today," said Ma. "Now I've got the kitchen fixed so I can cook in it. I'll just step down out of the car to serve the food. Then when Pa comes back we can unscrew the seat so we can put furniture inside. But I think we've done enough for this morning. I must say it looks right nice and cheerful. I always did want a kitchen with a lot of windows so I could look out, and this one is so small I can sit right on that stool and reach everything in it." While she talked, she put some potatoes in a pot and set them on the stove to boil. "I hope they bring back some water," she said. "This is the last of what we have." Mr. Jefferson lifted the table down to the ground, and meanwhile Sally got benches and chairs and set them around. "You might as well set the table, Sally," Ma called, handing down a tablecloth. "My land, what's that hen making all that noise about?" The black hen was clucking excitedly, walking back and forth with her wings spread. The speckled hen continued to peck for bugs and paid no attention to her excited sister. "I guess I'll call the black one Mrs. Cluck," Sally said, "and the other one Mrs. Peck. Though I wish I could see what Mrs. Cluck is clucking about. Are you bothering the chicken, Peter?" Peter came out from under the car, trailing his rope, and stood watching Sally set the table. "Dinner," he said, with a pleased smile on his little round face. He waddled to the table and put a round brown object on it. "Yes, honey, you'll have dinner soon," said Sally. "Now don't put stones on the table." Then she stopped and stared. It wasn't a stone. It was an egg. A beautiful brown egg. "Mama," Sally called. "Mr. Jefferson, look, look, an egg! Mrs. Cluck laid it. That's what she was clucking about." "An egg," said her mother. "What are you talking about, child?" "Peter found an egg, Mama. Mrs. Cluck laid it, the black hen." "Well, for goodness sake," said Ma, "bring it in here. We won't eat it, that's sure, at least not for a while. I'll boil it and we'll put it in the china closet as soon as we get it set up in the right place. And we must get some chicken feed if the hens are going to lay. Well, that makes me feel good, to have the stove set up and the hen lay an egg." And she popped it into the water with the potatoes to cook. End of chapter 7. A Home in the Wilderness.